Olunaku olwaleero wegweze omwaka omulamba bukyanga Lop Joel Ssenyonyi atuuzibwa ku bwa Speaker wa Parliament era nga omukulu Honorable Lop Ssenyonyi ng'aweza emyaka omwaka gumu nga ye Leader of Opposition okuva lutafubutula omukulu Mathias Mpuuga Nsamba awamu n'abantu be abaali balina ebigendererwa byabwe ebirala. Nyongera bajjukiza nti olunaku luno ate Speaker wa Parliament kintu alabika ng'ayagala kiteekamu mbeera, ayagala kuteekawo okulemesa naye twongera omujjukiza n'omutegeeza nti buli kimu kyakola tekiri mu mateeka. Bagezaako okutiisatiisa Lop Joel Ssenyonyi okumulemesa okujaguza emyaka gye. Omwaka gw'omulamba gwamaze nga akola Leader of Opposition n'ebirungi byakoze tebaagala ensi ebimanye. Naffe twongera obajjukiza n'obategeeza nti ensi emanyi amazima era ensi emanyi buli kimu. Bayinza olowooza nti bagezi, bayinza olowooza nti bategeera nnyo, bayinza olowooza nti bamanyi naye nga munnange tewali wano obumanyi bwabwe. Lop Joel Ssenyonyi akoze kyalina okukola era ffe tuli basiimu ate era tuli beeyanvu. Twongera okubajjukiza bano abalowooza nti bagenda tukuddamu by'okutwalira abantu baffe mu nkwawa, by'okulemesa abantu baffe okukola ekituufu kye balina okukola. Twongera obbagamba tuli sorry nabo kubanga ffe kye tukola tukimanyi nti kitwala Uganda mu maaso ate tekimenya mateeka. Mwe mbaleke balowooze endowooza zaabwe ezitaliiyo neffe we tulaga tumanyiwo. Era nga twongera okutegeeza mukyala Birangirangi nti bino byakola tebina kye bigenda mugattako. Bali mu kweswaza, bali mu kwemalamu, ffe amazima tugamanyi era Lop byakoze tubiraba. Bo bayinza olowooza nti bye bakoze bannayuganda bekka balaba naye bye tukoze ne Lop waffe tubiraba. Era mu kaseera kano nga tujaguza omwaka omulamba Joel Ssenyonyi akoze omulimu ogw'amaanyi. Ne Mukosasi yakola naye ate kati bw'afuuse Leader of Opposition tabangawo. Ayanise obubbi bw'abakulu bano abaanise byonna pulaani zaabwe kwegamba bawulira obafa pulaani Joel Ssenyonyi zonna azirinnyeemu. Neesekereko maama ye Mpuuga waakufa pressure kubanga ekyokuddako munnange talina kyayinza kukola ate era taliba nakyo. Ninga baganda bange, mikwano gyange, njagala muneegatteko ate tugende wano ku Parliament tulabe omukulu Honorable Leader of Opposition ensonga nga bwaziteeseteese n'okujaguza omwaka omulamba gwamaze nga Leader of Opposition. Bingi byakoze ebyogerekeka n'ebitoogerekeka, bye tutaddeko essira ne bye tutaddeeko ssira naye nga byo byeraga bwerazi ng'era nga buli muntu asobola okuba nga abiraba. So tukwasaganyaza bulungi era twebaza Katonda amusobozesezza omwaka guno omulamba ng'asobola okutwalaganya abakulu abo. Kati Mpuuga ali eyo agamba era akoze eki okuggyako okunwanisa akulwanyise kubanga wali okola mandaazi gokka, tolina kalungi kewakolera bantu. Mpuuga tolina kalungi kewakoledde bantu. Era baganda bange, mikwano gyange, bwetyo bwe tuli mu Parliament ng'omukulu Honorable Leader of Opposition ate ajaguza emyaka emeka ajaguza omwaka omulamba gwamaze nga Leader of Opposition. Tweyanza nnyo Honorable Joel Ssenyonyi, tugende maaso.
Which say should be loud and clear. For people to juxtapose the two, compare and contrast and see that real, even though these guys are not in power, but this is where we should be putting our money. These are the sectors we should be focusing on. These are the services that we should be availing to the people of Uganda. We have drawn attention of the country to the precarious habit of government giving taxpayers' money to private companies without any proper guidelines and without a clear modus operandi of who qualifies to be assisted with government resources. This, as far as I'm concerned, as an abuse of taxpayers' money, is a form of corruption. Because when it is not clear how government supports private companies, because any government, any serious government, there's a place to shoulder the burden of private entities. We went through COVID and so on. Some companies have never recovered. Justification being some companies employ hundreds of young people, so you don't want them to close. But if you are to bail them out, there must be a clear modus operandi. This is something we have raised separately. Can there be a clear guideline so that any private investor out there who is struggling to keep their head above the water, who has got bank loans or who is crumbling in one way or another, they know that this is how I apply to get a government bailout. But now it's not clear. So it is friends, relatives, in-laws, outlaws that have access to this money. So if you don't have a powerful friend in government who will hold your hand and take you to receive money, you don't get to be supported. This is wrong. It's a form of corruption. But also that this money gets to be properly accounted for. Because all the places we have been to so far, and we are going to several others this year, but those we have gone to so far, you don't see accountability of this money. We visited a Chiak sugar factory in Amuru district. This factory has so far been given 553 billion shillings, taxpayers' money, to produce sugar. The last time we were there, last year, there was no sugar being produced. As we speak today, there's still no sugar being produced. So you give them money without clear guidelines, without a clear understanding, but even the money cannot be accounted for. We went today Biopharma. These have been given so far 723 billion shillings to produce vaccines, medicine, and so on. When we went there, they told us that by the end of October they will be producing medicine. We are now in 2025. There's no medicine being produced from there. And these are people who were given money without even clear terms of reference. These companies are not even valued first. Because it's important that you first value. If you're saying you're going to buy a stake in the company, what's the worth of this company? They don't do that. They just dole out money. And then the money is not accounted for. There is no value for this money. We visited Roko. These ones did not even allow us access. They've been given 263 billion shillings so far. They're the guys who are meant to build the chambers of parliament. And to date, parliamentary chambers are incomplete. Meanwhile, parliament spends billions of shillings to rent office space for MPs, staff, and so on and so forth. We visited recently Inspire Africa Coffee Factory in Tungamo. That's also been supported with billions of taxpayers' money to build a coffee factory. Again, the last we were there was no understanding between the factory and government. So we're saying, under what arrangement did you give these people money? Are you buying stake in the company? Are you lending them so that they will pay back? Are you just giving free money and that kind of thing? There are also questions about why the company in Tungamo. Now, the proprietor of the company has a right to put it wherever they want, but government, are you putting your money where your mouth is? And so on and so forth, among many other cases. Some places that we shall be going to again this year. So we still demand that the billions given to these private entities are accounted for. And we still insist to government, there must be mechanisms. There must be a clear modus operandi so that anybody knows, even I can apply, and not just a few who are connected. In carrying out our oversight activities, we visited the Loboa hospital site, on which the taxpayer has so far spent over 600 billion shillings on that Loboa construction site. At the time, there was nothing going on at the site. No wonder we were denied access, as you remember. I'm told that as a result of the noise we have continuously made about Loboa hospital, some construction work is now happening there. What's for sure is that whenever the construction we hear is going on gets done, we shall seek to establish whether what was constructed is worth over 600 billion shillings that the taxpayer has injected into this problematic project. That's important. So they might say, now that these people are making so much noise about it, let's put up some kind of structure. We shall seek to understand what is the worth of that structure. Is there value for these taxpayers' money? We have put the government on the spot regarding the trillions of shillings lost to corruption annually, and we are not going to stop. We shall not stop. In this fight against corruption, we are able to draw attention to Parliament as well, because we must begin the fight against corruption in our backyard, here. So as we expose corruption in State House, in ministries, and the different government entities, we shall also keep pushing for the cleaning up of Parliament where we work, because this is our turf. This is our backyard. And in this new year, We are simply going to engage a higher gear in the fight against corruption, as you will see. I've heard people say that the current parliament has got incompetent MPs. I actually disagree. The major issue, as far as I'm concerned, in this legislature of ours is lack of integrity. People are competent, they know what to do. Whether it be among new MPs or the seniors. It's not incompetence. No, we know what to do. As legislators, when we are voted by our people, we know the issues that concern our people, and we can be able to voice them. But that does not happen many times. Why? Because integrity is the issue. We fear to step on some toes. We fear to annoy some people. You hear MPs saying, for me, I was told if I insist on these issues of corruption and so on, they are going to bring an opponent against me and fund that opponent heavily. Others are told, look, we shall not fund you for your election. Or if you keep quiet about these things, maybe we shall fund you. Or make sure you get declared, regardless. And so that is the issue that is happening in this parliament. Because MPs are well educated and exposed, but the lack of integrity is what happens. And just to clearly paint you a picture, out of all the 557 members of parliament that we have in this house, including the ex-officials, at least 18 of them, 18 of us as MPs, have got PhDs. 18. 231 members of parliament have got master's degrees. 251 members of parliament have got bachelor's degrees. I know this information will shock some of you. 37 have diplomas. Only 16 possess just the minimum qualification of USCE, Senior 6. Only 16. And only 4 possess certificates that are equivalent to USCE. Only 16 have Senior 6 certificate, which is the requirement in the law to be an MP. And only 4 possess the equivalent. Those who have studied wherever and so on, then you come and it is equated. So how do you say that MPs are incompetent or shallow? Because I hear that a lot from analysts. Parliament, MPs are incompetent and so on. No, I don't agree. I think what we lack here is integrity. Because MPs are educated, exposed, they know what to do. And by the way, it's not just this parliament. You remember that MPs were removed term limits in 2005. These were educated people. They knew what to do. They knew that term limits are good for the country. So did they remove term limits because they were incompetent? No, but because they were bribed. In the last parliament, the 10th parliament, MPs were given 29 million shillings to remove presidential age limit. Did they not know that this wasn't good for the country? Did they not hear the voices of their people? So did they do this out of incompetence? No. So even in this parliament, the 11th parliament, you've heard the stories, 40 million shillings, 50 million shillings, and the like, given to members of parliament. You saw Honorable Twaha Kagabo running around up and down. When we caught him red-handed, we said, you have got to return that money. Put it in the bag, ran with it, then he came back and told us, but now, those who gave it to me have said, we gave it to you, we no longer need it, take it back, whatever. So he was pacing up and down the corridors of parliament, the stairs of parliament. This is somebody here, he calls himself a doctor. I don't know whether he's a qualified doctor, but it looks like he's gone to school. So he's competent, he knows what to do. And others, but lack of integrity. Money that is exchanging hands in this parliament is the biggest problem that we have. So people should stop using the excuse of this parliament, MPs are incompetent, whatever the case might be. No, what we need to work on is the integrity question. No wonder an MP can sign a motion targeting corrupt leaders in this house, then pretend that they were hoodwinked into signing that motion. It's a clear sign of lack of integrity. Because this MP falls among one of these. Either she has Senior 6 or equivalent or something, meaning she can read. So why would you lie that you read and you knew what you were signing? But now you're saying, I was hoodwinked. A member of parliament. It's a question of lack of integrity that has got to be dealt with. We have and shall continue to use the platform that we have to demand for proper service delivery through efficacious use of taxpayers' money and the respect for human rights. Government, through its security entities, continues to violate the rights of citizens. Many have been killed, others abducted, many are in jail simply because of their political beliefs, while others have been tortured. We shall keep pushing back against all this injustice. And by the way, as we have said to those who care to listen, this is not just a question of those in the opposition. There are no survivors in a sinking boat. It is happening to colleagues in the NRM too. You saw one of our colleagues, Honorable Paul Akamba. He was granted bail and he was rearrested within the precincts of Parliament. Of court. So don't think that because you belong to the NRM, you are safe from injustice. No. This brutality will come your way if we all don't collectively say no. You hear the talk of deny them bail, deny them police bond and that kind of thing, and I've seen some fellows within the ruling party saying yes, it should be denied. That fellow does not know that tomorrow they will be the one needing bail for one reason or another. So we need to think as critically as we possibly can. As we use the platform, we have to fight these injustices. We call upon Ugandans to join the fight against bad governance and injustice because all of us are potential victims. We are glad to see young people and civil society activists who have joined the fight against corruption. We saw them protesting about corruption here at Parliament. That was a good sign that we together can stand against corruption and all other forms of injustice. May God help us to take this a notch higher in this year. The second year of our mandate is going to be an opportunity for us to do even more in executing our mandate of keeping the government in check, still pursuing the key priorities, the three key priorities: fighting corruption, poor service delivery, and human rights violations. So we shall continue to shake those tables, regardless whose drinks are on those tables. I thank you. Maybe I'll quickly translate that into Atesot. Where I go wrong, my neighbor here will correct me. Ngenaku z'omwezi mwenda January, guno omwezi lwe namala omwaka mu kifo kye ndimu nga akulira oludda oluvuganya government leader of opposition ne bannange tukolagana nabo nga shadow cabinet. Twebaza Katonda byatusobozesezza okukola tuyise mu buwonvu n'obugga okutuuka wano we tuli, naye ate nga bwetuli mu maanyi lw'ekisa kya Katonda. Twali bakugerako ery'eggwanga ku nsonga zino ku lunaku olw'ennyini, naye ate olunaku olw'ennyini munnaffe Honorable Ssegirinya lwe yatufaako kitalo ddala twongera okusaasira eggwanga, kubanga Ssegirinya yali wa ggwanga lyonna. Kyannaku yatugendako kikyali kizibu era kibeera kizibu okuzzaawo omuntu bwatyo, naye katusabe Katonda atuyambe. Ng'ennaku z'omwezi mwenda January 2024 nga ntwala obuvunaanyizibwa buno bwendimu, najjukiza Parliament obuvunaanyizibwa bwennina okulondoola emirimu gya gavumenti. Kiri mu ssemateeka, kiri mu rules of procedure zaffe okulondoola gavumenti, kugiteekako akazito ku nsonga ez'enjawulo, mu luzungu keeping the government in check. Kati omwaka guweze nga tulondoola gavumenti byekola oba byerina okukola eri bannansi. Omwaka gubadde mukambwe, nindibaza Katonda nti naye ndi musajja mukambwe ne bannange tukolagana nabo, era twalwanira ddala kuviira ddala mu ntandikwa. Abantu bangi bazze bakizaako tulemesa ne mu kizimbe kino okutuukiriza obuvunaanyizibwa bwaffe, naye ne tulemerako. Nayingira ofiisi ne bantegeeza nti kakati contracts z'abakozi mu ofiisi police analyst nakiziweddewo ate tetugenda kuziiza bujja. Neŋŋamba ku lwaki mukikoze nga nze nnyingiddewo, kubanga ofiisi eno ebadde ne ba leaders of opposition bangi bayitirivu ebbanga lino lyonna. lwaki kikyuka nga Ssenyonyi yayingidde office. Naye kikosi bakikola okugezaako okunnafuya ne bannange ningamba sijja kunafuwa, yakola emirimu gye nina okukola. Twatandika okulondoola emirimu gya gavumenti, twatandikira wansi wali e Kampala ku lw'enguudo embi nga tugambye ensonga eno twetaaga ogikuba butooki. Abannakampala bemulugunya enguudo mbi nnyo. Tusaba emmotoka za paalamenti bazituwa zi coasters, twatuukayo nazo essimu n'ekubibwa. Lwaki mwabawadde emmotoka ezo ziveeyo? Ne bantegeeza nti emmotoka bagambe muyingire emmotoka muddeyo ku paalamenti. Nenga ntozze kukola mirimu gyaffe. Gyoba temuyingire emmotoka zijja kuvaayo zokka, nenga kale muzitwale. Ne twefunira ze twefunira awo takisi zitwapakisa. Kwegamba olaba n'obuntu obutono bannaffe embeera gye batuukamu. Ensonga ya commission meetings tuzze tuzoogerako kubanga nze nga full member owa commission etteeka bwe ligamba situlangako mu meeting ya commission. Banneesamba kubanga ebintu bye bakola mu commission meetings ezo, okwegabira zi service award, okuyisa zidiiru ezitategeerekeka, mbiwakanya nze mbyogerako nga mbyanika. Kati bagamba nti wanaatula mu zi meeting zaffe ajja tulemesa. Nakyemulugunyaako era nkyakyogerako. Olunaku lw'eggulo wabaddewo commission meeting nate